My wife didn't cheat, Hind. She asked for permission to replace me.
I used to think betrayal would announce itself with big dramatic signs. You know, late nights, secret phone calls, a sudden and obvious distance. I was wrong. Sometimes betrayal just sits across from you at the kitchen table and explains itself calmly as if it's doing you a favor. The day my wife told me she wanted another man started just like any other. I came home from work, tired but happy, thinking about dinner and the quiet comfort of our routine. But she was already there, sitting at the kitchen table, hands folded neatly, her expression perfectly composed. That should have been my first warning. She was only ever that controlled when she had rehearsed exactly what she was about to say. She asked me to sit. I remember the little details, the clock ticking too loudly. Her tea gone cold, the way she avoided blinking. When she finally spoke, her voice was gentle, almost businesslike. She told me she had feelings for someone else, not a mistake, not a moment of weakness. Feelings, ongoing and thought through. She said it as if her honesty alone should earn her forgiveness, as if a polite betrayal was somehow less cruel. I asked who he was, even though a part of me already knew. A guy from her work, successful, confident, and married. The kind of man people admire from a distance. She said she wasn't sure what she wanted yet, that she needed time. She told me she felt alive around him and then had the nerve to say she still loved me, just in a different way. I didn't yell, I didn't cry. I just listened. And as she talked, something inside me shifted. I realized she wasn't asking for my understanding. She was asking for my permission. That night I slept on the couch while she slept peacefully upstairs. I stared at the ceiling, replaying her words, not with anger, but with a new, chilling clarity. I finally understood that respect doesn't just vanish overnight. It erodes slowly while you convince yourself that love is enough to hold everything together. In the days that followed, I watched her. The subtlety was gone. Her phone was her constant companion, her mood lifting with every new message. She started talking about the future in vague terms that didn't clearly include me anymore. I didn't confront her again. Instead, I just paid attention. It's amazing how much people reveal when they think you're too broken to notice. She stopped pretending pretty quickly. There were dinners with friends, work trips that didn't add up, and an emotional distance she tried to pass off as honesty. And here's the part that surprised even me. I didn't want revenge. I didn't want to humiliate her or ruin her life. I wanted something much more powerful. I wanted my self-respect back. So I started preparing, quietly. I met with a lawyer, organized our finances, and documented conversations, not to trap her, but to protect myself. I detached emotionally while she grew more confident in her choices. The more certain she became that I would tolerate anything, the calmer I felt. One evening, she finally admitted she wanted to be with him openly. She framed it as her own personal growth, as an act of bravery and truth. I told her I agreed on one thing: the truth matters. The next morning, I handed her the divorce papers. She was stunned, genuinely shocked. She thought I would argue, beg, or negotiate. She believed her honesty was a get-out-of-jail-free card. She cried and accused me of being cold and impulsive. I gently reminded her that this wasn't sudden at all. It was simply the moment I stopped lying to myself. The process was clean. No screaming matches, no dramatic scenes, just signatures and silence. She moved out within a few weeks. And the man she chose? He didn't leave his wife. It turns out he enjoyed the fantasy, but not the real-life fallout. She tried to come back once with a simple message saying she missed what we had. I didn't respond. Closure doesn't always need a conversation. Months passed. My life became quieter, but also steadier. I slept better. I laughed more freely. I rediscovered the parts of myself that had shrunk while I was trying to hold a marriage together all on my own. I heard through mutual friends that her new relationship didn't last. Apparently there were trust issues. What a surprise! A relationship born from betrayal rarely survives the weight of honesty. I didn't celebrate her failure. I didn't feel a sense of victory. I just felt free, and that was my real revenge. Not destruction or cruelty, but refusal. The refusal to accept disrespect disguised as self-discovery. The refusal to compete for a place I had already earned. The refusal to stay where my loyalty was considered optional. People sometimes ask if I regret not fighting harder for my marriage. I tell them I did fight the moment I chose myself. Staying would have been surrender. Betrayal teaches you where your boundaries are. It shows you who you become when love is no longer met with respect. My wife wanted another man. What she never expected was that losing me would be the price. And in the end, I paid nothing to walk away with my dignity fully intact. Thanks for listening to my story. If this resonated with you, I'd appreciate a follow.